So we're continuing our talks on Mahavir's views on diet and sex. What Mahavir is saying that the foods which stimulate your vasanas, and he's very careful in choosing his words. He's saying that it's your vasanas. Food has nothing to do with it. But the foods stimulate your own vasanas to, meaning a desire to get something out of life. And life includes everything, the objects, people, pleasures, situations, anything. But whenever you have a belief that you can get something out of the world, that's your vasana. And Patanjali calls it abhinivesh. Abhinivesh means it's your tendency to run to the world to get something. And in doing that, you created your vasanas. Vasanas and vrittis and all these were the tools which you sharpened like a claws of the tiger. When you are a kid, your vasanas and vrittis are hidden, but they have been perfected over many lives, and they just simply come out whenever the situation permits. So once the vrittis and vasanas come out, they are your own vrittis and vasanas. So Mahavir is saying, say, focus on within. Do not blame the world that, oh, I'm in this situation, that's why. You blame the situation, you blame the people, you blame the objects. None of those things have anything to do with that. Sansar is totally neutral. It is not colored. The coloring happens at our mind level. And yet, we are fed by the consciousness, which is also neutral, has no colors, it does not select anything. The mind does the selections. And once we select, we divide everything into likes and dislikes, and that's where the fight goes on. And whatever we get, become happy. Whatever we get, we do not get happy. And whatever we want and we have obstructions on the way, it generates the anger, the lust, the greed, the desires. All these tendencies were created by our own mind. So Mahavir says, focus within, and then that's where you're going to find the solutions, how to transcend the vrittis and vasanas. But everyone is walking around with the desires. Whether you have desire for food, you have desire for men or women, or money, or fame, or even Paramatma. But desire, in a very subtle way, is still a desire. Instead of accepting whatever we have and appreciating what we have, we always want more. Even when you make a run towards the temple to become more dharmic and thinking that you're going to be pleasing the God, and the God is going to please on you, and He's going to shower you with the blessings and this and that, all these things are wishes which are happening in the future level. You are missing the present. The present is here right now. The consciousness has created this particular moment with everything around being created by the consciousness. Instead of appreciating what we have some other desires. So this is the trick of the mind that makes you keep running and running and running. And because of that, we always do not appreciate the present state. Whatever is our state of mind will make us appreciate the present state if the vrittis and vasanas disappear from our life. If vrittis and vasanas always makes us there is a better tomorrow, there is a better next person, there is a better next food, there is a better next drink, all these things are for the future, and that's why we keep on trying. If these vrittis and vasanas disappear, our mind becomes like a child. Child is ready to play, no matter what. He's ready to play with every situation that comes in front of him. He doesn't have any, so I don't like this guy, let me play with it. He doesn't choose. Chasing and choosing is happening at the mind level. So we are walking around with the desires. But what happens is, when we don't have, if our inside mind is set up in such a way that is ready to accept every single moment, meaning not getting attached to any present situation, but only for enjoyment, then you're ready for the next moment of enjoyment also. But those things will happen only when you clear out your vrittis and vasanas. For example, even a best meal will not taste you good if your stomach is full. Or if you already have gone through many good meals, the next good meal is just a boring thing. Versus if you are darn hungry and you are so looking for food, even a simple meal will make you feel good. I remember in the school days when we were like 5-6 friends of ours, like in like early college days or something, we went to Mount Abu. We walked 7 miles to the Guru Shikhar and then 7 miles back, of course. But after reaching the 7 miles, we had a simple meal in one of the local Vichy, like one lodge. And it was nothing really spectacular. It was just the roti and things. And then I remember they had cut up a fresh salad, tomatoes and cucumbers. And me and one of my friends, we are heavily into eating those raw food even then, right? So I still remember that meal because that we had after 7 miles of walking. So it's our inside state that decides whether the meal is good or not. If I have to describe, I can describe every single moment that we enjoyed that meal. And now the meals come and pass and by all the time and doesn't affect you anymore. It is your desire to appreciate God. That's what makes God's
the
presence around.
Bacteria won't affect
Didn't matter.
you.
Didn't matter
You
at that
digest all
time.
the bacteria also when you are hungry.
Right. So people say, how come I don't have a desire to be synchronizing with Paramatma? Because our vrittis and vasanas come in the way. Whenever something simple comes in, we're not ready to appreciate because we have never experienced our basic state. Jalasa. Jalasa, what I said was, when Buddha says, Jalasa se nikli machli, means Jalasa is the water state.